I thought I was done, honestly. I thought I was done making videos on justice. I thought I was just going to make one. And then I remembered another point. So then I had to make a different one. I had to make a part two. And then I believe that God has brought some more very important information to my attention regarding justice, things which now I'm remembering he mentioned in his videos months ago. And I think this is all God's plan, because these points are so important that they would just get lost if they were part of a separate hour-long video. Each one of these points needs its own video and needs to be discussed. So it's not up to me. I don't know what God's plan is. But I do know that I asked to be used in a mission, and this is now heavy on my mind. And I think that things have been confirmed mentally, like yes. And I do have to make this video. My intention is never to come on here and destroy another YouTuber. I hardly have any views, as it is. I have hardly 100 subscribers, but maybe I will get to 60,000 one day. I don't know. And how about you guys? Do you have 60,000 subscribers? What does it take to get 60,000 subscribers? Because I've been making videos about Chosen Ones for a year. I put the hashtag in most of my videos. It makes no difference. Because it's not up to us how many people are exposed to our videos. It's up to God. And God has some employees. Also, the entire kingdom of darkness and the devil work for God. And some people choose willingly to work for the devil. Okay, this is a long introduction, but I have really seen direct evidence how the devil actually works directly under God, and sometimes hand in hand with God's best angels. It's not like he's out calling his own shots. He's actually not going to destroy anyone. We choose whether we succeed, whether we have victory, or whether we're destroyed. That's our choice. And justice has chosen to sell out to Satan. He has chosen to sell out to the devil. Now, guys, I'm not making this up because, you see, is this warfare? Now the dog is scratching its... Now I'm remembering, and the reason it took so long to remember this is because he used to cover this every so often in his videos, like a year or two ago. He would mention it. And then he stopped mentioning it. And now when people ask him about his past, he says, go back and watch my old videos. And he won't even mention it. Maybe because it looks really bad, and people can record their screens now. But yes, he has in several of his earlier videos mentioned how he sold his soul to the devil because he wanted to have he wanted to be like a famous rapper and have a music contract. And maybe no, he's not working for Hollywood, but the devil controls YouTube too. I mean, God controls YouTube. Devil controls a lot more than a record company. So in many of Justice's previous videos, he mentions how he sold his soul to the devil. And I don't know if he said that, because you can never really sell your soul to the devil. He wanted to be like famous and have his music get out there. And it surely has, actually. There's more than 60,000 subscribers. I don't know how many are real. I don't know how many are fake. That's a lot of people, and that's a lot of fame. And there sure are a lot of lies. He completely misrepresents everything. And guys, I am not jealous of justice one bit. I am not jealous of justice one bit ever. Most of these people I'm not jealous of, because I always thought it was cool to be broke and poor and have the whole world shit on you, and then you could handle it like nothing. I always admired that, and great, I get to be that now. So I don't feel jealous for anyone that has success. I don't feel jealous of anyone that has a rapping career. I don't care. But what I do care about is this is an online influencer who claimed to be a chosen one of God, who pretended to be a prophet of God, released videos about chosen ones to mislead people, even saying a lot of things that were true, and at the end taking it all back and saying I did it all for money, and all that stuff was a lie. Well, actually, a lot of his previous content about chosen ones was not a lie. A lot of that previous content was true. So, this is the PSY-OP controlled opposition. Now, before, I just used the lies as evidence. And now, I'm going to use his own statements. And this is some real proof here. He said he sold his soul to the devil. He was seeing a lot of demons, spirits everywhere. And he pretends to be afraid of them. He pretends to be afraid. Well, you know, actually, he probably is afraid of them. Because if you're a real chosen one, you have no reason to be afraid of these beings. But if you sold your soul to the devil, you have every reason to be afraid. God's not protecting you. And they can't actually come after you and hurt you if you sold your soul to the devil. Now, maybe, I'm not sure, but it sure looks like Justice's time is coming to an end, and maybe he'll still have fake subscribers, I don't know. But if there's any believers out there, perhaps God is calling an end to this, because it's been brought to my attention to make videos regarding this topic. Justice sold his soul to the devil, and you see his tattoos and stuff. Having tattoos doesn't mean that you sold your soul to the devil. It really doesn't. But some people get tattoos because they have spiritual significance. And some people get them because they look cool. But you have to take him at his own word. The biggest hypocrite you could ever see. And he said he sold his soul to the devil. He was telling the truth. And guys, there are so many parts of this. He lays it all out. He tells you he's a hypocrite. He tells you he steals your money. He tells you he lies about theology and everything is calculated. And he did it all for the money. He did it all for the nookie. Everything he says is a lie. Everything he says is a lie. But except for when he said he sold his soul to the devil. The rest of it is just showing the hypocrisy. So, when he mentioned a couple days ago that all of the Chosen One videos were just for money, he started making Chosen One videos to make money. Let's think about this. How does this make any sense? How does this make any sense? Because I put Chosen One in all my videos and nobody sees them. And I didn't know what a Chosen One was. Most of us have no idea what it is until we start researching. And I would just say that just because your content covers Chosen Ones is not going to make it popular. It's not going to get you subscribers. How would he know? How would he know what a Chosen One was? If he was not a Chosen One, how would he know what a Chosen One was? And how would he know that that would bring in money? Because honestly, it doesn't. But let's just assume and pretend that it does. If you cover Chosen Ones, then you get 60,000 subscribers. Let's just pretend. But if you're not a Chosen One, no one knows what a Chosen One is, honestly. So he would be making money for covering this topic, not from views or subscribers, because you don't get views and subscribers from making videos about Chosen Ones. You get views and subscribers by selling your soul to the devil. And when you cover a topic and get paid for it, then there's two ways to do that. It actually genuinely is a topic with a lot of interest that's being promoted and pushed out there. Or someone is paying you to cover these topics. And I would say that's it. I had no idea what a Chosen One was. I didn't know what this was, and I never knew to put the term Chosen One into search. YouTube suggested Justice's videos to me, and I watched them, and then he covered Chosen Ones. So this is quite the opposite. I clicked on his video, and then he said what a Chosen One was. So the video was showed to me, and I watched it, I'm like, oh, and I was learning some things. I'm like, yeah, that's true, and he was talking about narcs. Great. Okay, so somebody was paying him. This is how it works. It wasn't like homegrown support. He didn't just know, hey, if I make videos about chosen ones, I'm going to get 60,000 subscribers. No. Someone is paying him to cover certain topics. And then self-destruct, trying to discredit the whole chosen one movement, which is a real movement. And this is what controlled opposition is. Because the opposition is the enemy camp. And the chosen ones are on the good side, or on God's side. So controlled opposition is like a false flag. Somebody comes in and pretends to be a chosen one, and then they say a lot of things people like, they follow them, and they're like, oh, it was all fake, I did it for the money, and they try to implode and destroy the whole movement. Exactly what Justice is doing. So I would say that you don't get views and subscribers from putting the term chosen ones in your video. You don't, especially when nobody knows what it is. So, to me, looking at what he said, all the circumstantial evidence, to me it is clear that somebody told him to make videos about chosen ones. And then he might become famous or get money. Now, it might not be direct. Then the subscribers would come in. Because if he did his side of the deal, then his videos would be pushed and promoted on YouTube and shown to many YouTubers. Which it surely was, because I wasn't looking up chosen ones, and YouTube presented his channel. So, I declare and decree the truth will come out regarding controlled opposition and PSY-OPs, and this is a part of the learning curve too. Like, guys, we gotta learn. The politicians have been lying to us. We're learning about that. And people claiming to be chosen ones have been lying to us. So the Democrats pretend to be on your side. They were lying. A lot of the Republicans pretend to be on your side. They were lying. There are fake chosen ones too. And there's a lot of witches and warlocks that claim to be the authority on religion. They're not. They're not. They cover 99% truth and 1%, that very dangerous 1% of lies. And Justice has come in and covered a lot of topics on chosen ones and things that actually were true. He covered a lot of things and it was true. And it did actually parallel with my own life what he was saying. How the narcissists poison you and, you know, basically a lot of the things he spoke about, it's true. But then to say that, but then to try to destroy all of it at the end, that's what I mean. Like, have a lot of good information on his channel about this, and then say it was all fake. And then, by doing so, it will destroy and implode all of that information. The intent, I believe, is to discredit the entire Chosen One movement. By him getting popular, then coming out and saying it was fake. But it's not going to. It's not going to, because there's real Chosen Ones. And we are actually going through this. So, yeah, he is a PSYOP, controlled opposition agent. If I ever saw one, there's no way. And I don't know why I didn't consider this before. Like, I just started clicking record, and I was thinking about all the lies. All of the lies, and everything he does is hypocritical. Everything he does is hypocritical. I would tell you guys, the devil is not scary. The devil is only scary to disbelievers. The devil is not scary at all to a believer. These are clowns, circus clowns, Looney Tunes. They're not scary. But Justice did say multiple times, many times he sold his soul to the devil. There were demons following him around. And something which I might cover separately. Yeah, I will cover something else separately, but I'll cover this point as well. Here's a whole other lie that just came to my mind this evening. I wasn't even trying to think about this, so I believe that God brought this to my attention. There were commenters on his channel. And he'd always be using the vape. And people would comment, and I didn't read their comments, but he actually replied to them and spoke to them. And so there were people saying, you got something else in your vape. There were people saying he had pot or marijuana in his vape. And then he denied and denied and denied and denied. And then one day, he's like, yeah, I have been. And I use the marijuana to write my music. So here's the thing. He repeatedly lied about using pot, which I don't think is that big a deal, but guys, we shouldn't, because it does open us up to demonic possession. He lied about this, and actually, he could have just ignored those comments like he ignores everyone else. He could have ignored those comments, but no, he actually brought it up specifically. Like, oh, you guys keep saying that I'm smoking pot. I don't smoke pot. I don't use THC in my vape. I don't. He kept saying this. And I don't remember exactly which words he used. He repeatedly said he did not use marijuana, and that it wasn't good and it would open you up to demonic influence. And then one day, he came out, I have to come clean. You know, I've been using marijuana to make my music. Do you guys not see? Do you not see? It's time to take justice down and out. And the easy way to do that is to just stop watching his content. This is how you defeat all the narcissists. Don't buy his music and don't watch his channel. That's all you have to do, and he'll go away. I mean, what more do you need? He's admitted he sold his soul to the devil, and regardless whether you care about that or not, he's very disrespectful to his viewers. They offer him things, they say nice things to him, and he never says thank you. He's never kind to them. He's always rude to them. And a lot of times he ignores them. But in the case where it can prove his hypocrisy, he will actually bring up their comments. But other than that, he just ignores. He ignores his viewers. Now, another proof, okay, that he has sold his soul to the devil, other than he's clearly stated that he has. And that's why he doesn't want to say it anymore. People ask him, he says, go watch my videos. And then if you do that, you will see, yes, he sold his soul to the devil. People will come in his comments, and they will tell him ideas, and they'll tell him things. And he doesn't say thank you, and he doesn't link to their channels. But what he does instead is steal their information and doesn't give them credit. And this is exactly what the devil does, and what narcissists do. So he goes on to other people's channels, and he doesn't thank them, he doesn't link to them, he steals their information and releases it as his own. And the thing about the Kingdom of Darkness is they're not creative, they don't have the ability to think of their own information, so they have to steal it, and this is more proof. And I was thinking about his legal problems, and in my previous video, I mentioned that anyone can get in trouble. Maybe he is being targeted. He probably is. Well, actually, the thought, I just thought about it. I didn't think about it long. I just thought about it again, because I made that video unprepared without doing any research, just based on what I heard, months or years ago. And now I'm remembering things. So he mentioned a while back the legal troubles he was in, and he'll say like a sentence or two related to this. And if you piece it together, you can figure out the circumstances and the situation. So, just like he steals our content and our ideas, rebrands them as his own, this is also what he does with his music. So, he apparently paid to use other people's music, the soundtrack, and there's some licensing agreement. So, he's only allowed to use the music for certain things. But he actually stole it by breaking the contract. So it might have been he was able to just make his own music and put it in a video. But I think something like that, he wasn't allowed to distribute it. So that would have required a lot more money, which he didn't pay. So he broke his contract and deserved to be sued, and he deserved the legal fees. I'm going to tell you guys, honestly, he didn't write... I'm going to make a separate video on this. He didn't write the songs, he didn't write the lyrics, and he didn't make the sound, he didn't make the soundtrack, he didn't make any of the music, he stole it all. Essentially, he pays people to make the beats, other people make the beats, he pays them, but the terms of the contract was that it couldn't be used to be put on a CD and sold where he makes money. But he broke that contract because I couldn't afford to actually pay, So these are things he's actually admitted to in his previous videos, what he did and why he has legal fees, which are a lot of his bills. So he just said his base bills without rent are $1,500 a month because he has a lot of legal fees. He has admitted in his previous videos that he actually did break his contract, and so he deserves the legal fees. They're actually paying the people that made his music, the music that you are paying him to listen to. He paid someone else to make, but he didn't pay them enough because he didn't pay for rights to distribute that. But this is what the devil does. The devil steals and claims things are their own. They pretend and play victim. they play victim and they act like they're afraid. And then you want to save them and you want to help them. How pathetic and sad. You suck, Justice. It's time for your career to be over, honestly. Now, I would say if you repent and actually, if you do actually ask for forgiveness from God and start making your own music, then that'll be great. And then I will come on here and I'll make a follow-up video. Not that anyone will see this, but the prophets are saying that I'm going to be rich and famous pretty soon. Like, actually really soon. I'm going to be really famous. And there's going to be probably more than 60,000 subscribers on my channel. And this is going to be from God, not the devil. So, you might want to consider this before that happens. Because us real chosen ones are going to be restored. And we are going to be rich and famous. And I think I know how. I think I know one way that's going to happen for me. Yeah, I'm broke with very few subscribers right now. But that's exactly where God's positioned me. So that when people shit all over me and I have my testimony, then all of a sudden I become rich and famous. And then what I say actually has value and merit. And so when I come and make a video saying that you sold your soul to the devil, which people can go back and clearly see, you've mentioned this many times in your videos, then your career is over. Your career is over, Justice. So I'm going to say now, repent. Stop what you're doing. You know what? I don't know if you're going to ask forgiveness from God. I don't know. But start writing your own music. Start making your own music. Start making your own lyrics. And stop releasing false information about religion, since obviously you've already said it's calculated and you don't mean it. If you do this and then you contact me, then I will remove my previous videos. You've got a chance to do this now, because I have hardly any subscribers, and I'm not famous yet. But I'm about to be. And then, what I say will have value. All of God's remnant are going to be elevated in the new world. So it's not just me. It's everyone. Everyone with a pure heart that does the right thing. That have the Holy Spirit. So, your time's almost up, Justice. You have a chance. You do what's right, then I'll take these videos down and I won't make them. I won't make any more. But I'm going to be releasing another one, a separate video. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. I hope this has value to someone. Don't give your time, attention, or money to any more narcissists. And narcissists come in many forms. And you know that they play the victim. They play the victim, and, hey Sarah, they basically tell other people that your story is their story. So, just keep that in mind.